Now, we have absolutely no problem taking questions. If there's anything we don't know, we'll tell you we don't know. But what we know is sufficient for 5 lifetimes for you. It's sufficient for 5 lifetimes for you. That's why the elders can't come to me. They won't. They're running. When you have parts of your Muslim family saying they believe in Jesus, and somehow the Jesus they believe in suddenly so different to the Jesus in the Bible. Muhammad has taken the place of Jesus, if you like. One of the first things that Muslims will tell you when they're talking about this Islamic Jesus, they're gonna tell you that they just believe he's a prophet and nothing more. So people of the book in Islam basically just refers to Christians and Jews. Excuse me, brother, sister, Muslim, which Bible exactly, which Jesus exactly do you say you believe in? Which Jesus exactly are you referring to? Because it sounds like a mess here. Muhammad cannot be the last prophet, because according to Islamic literature, they're still waiting for our Messiah, Yeshe. They're still waiting for him to come back. Actually, there's a whole lot of references to the children of Israel and so on and so forth. So we know that the children of Israel are firmly established in Scripture. Muhammad replaces Yeshe. So put that in there for them, family. You must take an Israelite Shahada, because everything is about Israel in the Bible. In the religious realm, it's hard to prove everything that some people might want us to prove, but there's some proof that hovers just around the area of probabilities and residual evidence, if you like. All right, and sometimes some of those have to be found, they have to be produced. They have to be presented, they have to be inspected, they have to be checked, and so on and so forth. What we find mainly in Islam is Islam's gonna say they believe in Jesus, because it's always upset me from a young age. Like growing up in Africa and having both sides of family members, and we're talking like extended family members here. All right, we're talking extended family, which sometimes stretch into hundreds, if not thousands of, literally thousands of people, seriously. So you have that kind of situation where your families just keep going on. It's just bigger and bigger and bigger. You soon find out there's more people you haven't met than the ones you have met, and everybody's family. And that's how it is in ancient times in the Bible. That's how it is back in Africa in many cultures and tribes, and I believe in Asia, even in Arabia, the same thing. So even in South America, probably all over the world. So when you then have a situation where you have people who say they're Christian, people who say they're Muslim, and then you have this little fight amongst them, and it's the same family, because they're talking about two different things, even though it looks like they're talking about the same thing. So point is, one of the things that sets Christians against Muslims is the deification of Christ that they call Jesus in the Bible. So for this session, I'm going to be using the word Jesus just for those who may have confusion, just to start off. But our name for our Creator's Son and our Creator is given like in all our other videos, as you already know, so that people can have understanding of who our creator is. So is the creator's son, all right? Son Yeshe, all right? The father is Iye, Ashe, Iye, all right? So that's what we have, all right? So that's the name right there, family. So when I refer to that name, I hope it's stuck in your mind and you know exactly who and what I'm talking about, all right? So leaving it at that, when you have parts of your Muslim family saying they believe in Jesus, and somehow the Jesus they believe in suddenly so different to the Jesus in the Bible. It's different to the Messiah in the Bible. It's different to the Son of the Creator in the Bible. It's different from the King of Kings in the Bible. It's different from the salvation bringer in the Bible. It's different from the life giver in the Bible. It's different from the door, the lamp, the Son of the Almighty. It's different. You're like, hold on. Excuse me, brother, sister, Muslim. Which Bible exactly, which Jesus exactly do you say you believe in? Which Jesus exactly are you referring to? Because it sounds like a mess here. So, because one of the first things that Muslims will tell you when they're talking about this Islamic Jesus, they're gonna tell you that they just believe he's a prophet and nothing more. That's it. He's just a prophet and nothing more. And they go on and then praise Muhammad. It's always in that order. They'll tell you that Jesus is just a prophet, and sometimes they even skip over him in a quick way that shows you they really ain't got no love for him. They'll just skip over him in 1 second, and then go on and tell you that Muhammad is the final prophet, and then put a whole lot of peace upon Muhammad. And you'll be like, all right. And you'll be looking like, you can tell by their whole body language, their whole spirit, that their real meaning comes out of their understanding, their education in their religion, that Muhammad has taken the place of Jesus, if you like. Muhammad has taken the place of Jesus. All right. Or in fact, let's just use another word. Muhammad replaces Yeshe. So I put in there our Messiah. Okay, I'm going to be going through these words. Alternately. So right. So you catch them here, you catch them there. So what they've done is what we call, kind of like replacement theology. All right. So you got like a replacement theology going on, all right? You all know about replacement theology, all right? So you get a replacement theology going on. Basically, Islam is all really about replacement theology. We got so much to say about the Christian standpoint as well, and in the Christian standpoint, they have the replacement theology firmly rooted in their doctrine, and it all just explains that the nation of Israel has been replaced by a new covenant signed between quote and unquote God and Christians. All right, so that's the replacement theology in a nutshell. That Christians also have, and in many ways, honestly speaking, it really stops the Christians from understanding Scripture. Now, when we meet Christians, our whole purpose is to always try to educate them along the lines of Israel and the Scripture that actually deals with Israel, because everything is about Israel in the Bible. So we're gonna be doing, trying to move between examining some of the corrosive beliefs that Christians have, that makes it easy for Muslims to do the same thing. All right, if Christians didn't have this replacement theology that they have, it would be hard for Muslims to go the same way. So in many cases you have a situation where what's it called now, when Muslims are talking about, even in their Quran, when they're talking about people of the book, they be talking about people of the book like they're two different separate religions. And in one way, some of us are going to say, come on, it's the same. But when you really think about it, if it's the same, why do we have different names? So people of the book in Islam basically just refers to Christians and Jews. All right, Christians and Jews. Yeah, to be fair, here and there you get, Bani Israel put in there, just so we know that, yeah, it's the children of Israel. So actually there's a whole lot of references to the children of Israel and so on and so forth. So we know that the children of Israel are firmly established in Scripture. Now when the Muslims come along, they're inheriting basically the confusion that the Christians laid down for them. And don't forget, like, the history of Islam is deeply rooted in Catholicism, whereby Muhammad's first wife, Khadija, was from a Roman Catholic background. Her uncle definitely was, and before then, all of Arabia, besides having known some of the prophets of Israel, they were all pagans, right? They were all pagans. They didn't know any better. So if anything, they would have need somebody to be a light bearer for them. And in this case, in two cases, it became people who were already embedded in a religion linked to the Bible or the scriptures that were already on the ground at the time, mainly the Israelite scriptures. There was no other scripture that Muslims can actually talk about when we're talking about the areas of Arabia and Middle East, and indeed the whole world. Even when we go up to India and so on and so forth, a lot of what you find to be the scriptures of the Hindus and the Vedas and so on and so forth, you will see a whole lot of similarities and Buddha linked back into the Bible, because corruption, as we had in ancient times, is a biblical phenomena. All right, and we can actually go in the Bible and look at some of that. At a later time, we will look at the comparisons between how religion started. Don't forget, family, it's hard to lie when we can actually, use our so-called common sense to look at common evidences. All right, so we know that the whole humanity was separated by their languages and divided into the earth. All right, so it must have all come from one place, and there's nothing new under the sun. So what we just have is people rehashing whatever religious beliefs they want to subscribe to, and adding or taking something out and calling it a new name, just repackaging. It's just simple as that. So Islam is the Johnny come lately of all the religions on the face of the earth. Islam is the Johnny come lately of all the religions on the face of the earth. Islam is, and that's why in their eyes they like to say Muhammad is the last prophet. But unfortunately, even Islamic literature tells us that Muhammad cannot be the last prophet, because according to Islamic literature, they're still waiting for our Messiah, Yeshe. They're still waiting for him to come back. They're still waiting for him to come back to now, establish justice on the face of the earth again, which links in back again, if you like it or not, into Isaiah 42, Isaiah 21, Isaiah 7, Isaiah 9. Yeah, so it still goes back and links in right there again. So it's really nothing they can do. So all the time we keep finding that Islam keeps contradicting what's in the scriptures before them, and they keep contradicting what's even in their own scriptures. And when I'm saying scriptures of Islam right now, we're talking about, including their hadiths and including their Quran. All right, so they contradict that on a daily basis, on a hourly basis, on a minute by minute basis. It's just madness. So what we have is something that we want to ask Muslims, and we always like to invite Muslims onto this show, and just to give us some knowledge that we might be missing. Can you explain something? So Islam, as is a Johnny come lately religion, it's also a very apologetic religion. It doesn't really have anything original to talk about. There's nothing original about Islam's doctrine. And some of you is gonna go off right now and start saying, this is Islamophobia. This is Islamophobia. It's no Islamophobia in that emotional way. Islam started by attacking Christianity. I'm not saying just attacking people. They started as a religion to squash or quash another religion. There's no way Islam right now is saying we the fastest growing religion, and they like to boast that they are actually converting Christians to Islam. So look, if you're converting Christians to Islam, you must be doing something that I'm doing right now. You must be doing exactly the same thing. That is like talking to them, preaching around them, going in their societies, coming in their face, and doing your thing. So don't say what I'm doing is Islamophobia by critiquing, analyzing what Islam is doing or what their method of operation is, when I'm only just doing the same. That's all it is. So don't get upset. Don't get emotional. If you have a point of view that you want to put across, just come on the show. Let's have a quick inspection of what Islam and Christianity maybe share in common or disagree upon, and then see how we take it from there. Yeah. So whenever we find that whenever Islam wants to start critiquing, whenever they want to start critiquing the Bible, they always instantly turn everybody who's around them into a Christian. And this is usually a very serious trick, because they never start talking to anybody like that person could be anything else, especially what the book specifies that the people of this book actually are. I hope you understand. I know it's a long phrase, kind of, yeah, but all I'm saying is the Bible is never has been meant, or was never meant to be for a people called Christians. The Bible was never meant for a people called Christians. The only prescription that this Bible is for the children of Israel. And we always like to explain that from all times. So Muslims sometimes, they go back to Moses and say, yeah, we believe in Adam, we believe in Moses, we believe in Abraham. But then they say nothing more. They don't remind themselves and remind the people they're talking to that Moses was especially anointed and commissioned to lead a nation. That's his special commission, was to lead a nation, even to be a type of Messiah for a particular distinct nation. That was the work that Moses was given by the Most High Creator, Asher. So Muslim, get that into your mindset first. That's the number one thing that Moses was about. Moses was first and foremost an Israelite leader. You all like to go back to Israel and Ishmael when you're now trying to argue yourself back into the book. You always like to get back into scriptural history by inserting yourself into Abraham's lineage, and we don't have a problem with that. A whole part of the earth is of the loins of Abraham. All right. Now, Ishmael comes out of Isaac, but the lineage of prophets don't come out of Ishmael at all. The lineage of prophets do not come out of Ishmael at all. All right. So anyone who is a Muslim who thinks that they have what do you call it, prophets who are Ishmaelites, you can please pull some of your scripture for me to show us that Ishmael was appointed as any prophets at any point, or has any referable prophethood in their lineage anywhere. All right, you can't find that. If you're a Muslim, you absolutely can't find that. So when you link Muhammad back to Ishmael, to the tribe of Ishmael, we don't actually have a problem. We don't have any problem. All you just need to know is that the lineage of Ishmael is not being dealt with as prophets by the Most High Creator. That is not happening at all. So if you think we are wrong, or we are lying, or we're just trying to upset you, you can refute what we're saying and bring some checkable references that we can actually go through together. All right. So let me go quickly to the Old Testament, as Muslims call it. So we are going to go quickly to Psalm 147. Psalm 147, and just to pick up one scripture there that shows clearly that if you're going to be following all the prophets in the book, then you've got to listen to them when they speak, and they're not just speaking only on one page, and they're not just one of them. And unfortunately, again, for Muslims, all the prophets that you can quote, they're all Israelite prophets. All the prophets that you're going to quote from A to Z, they're all Israelite prophets. And all of them are saying the same thing at one point or the other. Everything they say is linked in, here a little, there a little. There's nothing you can do about that, my Muslim brothers and sisters. And don't forget, what we're doing here, Muslim brothers and sisters, is not trying to compete or bring a spirit of competition or conflict here. We're trying to tell you where your soul needs to be, because you may be born a Muslim, you may just have converted to Islam, you may be looking at be an atheist or be any kind of unbeliever out there, and you may be looking at making a choice and thinking, where should I put my head in? Where should I put my spirit in? Where should I put my soul in? We go to Psalm 147. We'll pick it up from 19. And I suggest some of you Muslim brothers deal with the Psalms when you can. Deal with the Psalms when you can. There's a whole lot of treasure in there for you to start getting a glimpse of what the Old Testament really is about. Okay, so let's read this. Psalm 147 and verse 19. It says, "The Creator declares his word to Jacob, his statutes and his judgments to Israel. He has not dealt thus with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them." So that's a clear-cut verse. That's a clear-cut verse that tells us that the Creator has never dealt. He's never dealt with anybody else. And this evidence, you can go and collect it from going to the first books of the Bible. Go to the first books of Moses and see how the Creator had to set Israel up to be a special messenger on the face of the earth. All right. See how the Creator had to set Israel up. Israel is a nation, family. All right. It's not a piece of land. Because some of you are out there thinking I hear people saying, "Brother Ty, well, if you're Israel, go over to Israel and let me see if they accept you." We don't need nobody to accept me in a geographical place. The geography is not Israel. The people is Israel. So we can be anywhere. So according to the book, Israel, was scattered into the four corners of the earth. We're scattered into the four corners of the earth. We could be anywhere, and we are everywhere. You understand? So Israel is not only or precisely, particularly, a geographical piece of land. Israel was the person. Jacob was surnamed Israel. Jacob. All right? All right? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob was given the name Israel. This is for my Muslim brothers and sisters who are listening. Jacob was given the name Israel. Israel has a meaning. Israel means an anointed one. The one who is anointed to do the job for our Creator. And what job is that? To spread truth on the face of the earth. To be a light unto the Gentiles. That's what the word Israel just basically means. Alright? It doesn't mean we are inheriting all the gold and diamonds on the earth. Alright? It doesn't mean we're going to lay back on our couches while all the Gentiles just serve us. Because some of you are now saying, yeah, the Jews control the world. The Jews control the banking. And then you take those Jews and then you put them into the Bible by your own selves. But when you actually ask those Jews, they never said they are the people in this Bible. They actually never said that. Because when you actually talk to those Jews who you say control the world, they tell you that their lineage goes by their mother's lineage. Their lineages go by their mother's lineages. It doesn't go by the lineage of Jacob. They go by mother lineage. So you can't even get in among them. They don't actually want anybody coming into their religion. They don't. That's why they're going by their mother's lineage. They just stick like, you know, who's your mom? They don't want nobody in there. All right. It's an exclusive club. Now, Israel as a people, Israel as a nation is scattered all over the earth. And it's not only a couple of million people. We are in hundreds of millions scattered over the earth. Of all colors, of all so-called races, of all countries of the earth. All right. There still be some of our brothers and sisters who still have some doubts about this statement. But those are things we've done already, we've checked that already, and we can always do again. So just for our Muslim brothers and sisters, Psalms 147 and 19 says that the Creator has never dealt with His scripture, with His message, with His covenants unto any other person, any other nation besides an Israelite. No Ishmaelite was ever in the lineage of prophets. The Quran lets us know that, look, we are copying from the Christian, so-called Christian Bible. We are copying from in there to give the same message again. All right, to give the exact same message to people who come under Islam. And there's a reason when you go into the understanding of why. When you go into the understanding of what what Muhammad was doing in the inauguration of Islam, all right, what he was doing at the time, why he even bothered to include anybody else in his book, is because there was no way he was going to get his religion going without having a precedent, i.e. a foundation for what he's talking about. And that foundation could only be found in the scriptures before him, which is the scriptures of Israel. There's no other way he could have done it. So besides just the scriptures, he also needed to be able to use our scriptures to back up whatever it was that he wanted to convince people about. So it's just a common trick, you know. It's a common trick. You just need to know. You need to know what was before you, and quote some of it, and start to use it. All right. So, like they say, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. So we can go inside some passages in the Quran, just to let you know that whilst we're asking Muslims to give us any reference of Ishmael ever being in the line of prophethood, Muslims become even more unfortunate because their Quran then solidifies our own standpoint that Israel is the only one who was given any prophethood, because your Quran keeps talking about it. Your Quran keeps telling you about it. And if you care to read it and then read the Bible according to the Quran, it says, go you to the people of the book if you're in doubt. Then in that case, you need to take on board the fact that, boy, it looks like you need to get rid of the Quran and become an Israelite. You must do that. You must take an Israelite Shahada. So put that in there for them, family. You must take an Israelite Shahada. Israelite Shahada. This may sound funny to some. Shahada. Yeah? So Israelite Shahada is what you need to take today. So I'm going to read these two scriptures right there. Yeah? So first one I'm going to read is Surah Al-Ma'idah. Yeah? Surah Al-Ma'idah, or Surah number 5 and verse 20. Alright? Surah number 5 and verse 20. So Surah 5 says, remember Moses said to his people. You see, it's critical to see here that Moses ain't even speaking to the whole world anyway. Moses is speaking to his people, alright, who are Israelites. So he says, O my people, call in remembrance the favor that the Creator, Allah, put on you when he produced prophets among you, made you kings, and gave you what he has not given to any other nation. All right, family. Now I've got two books here. All right, I've got two books here that I'm just using at the moment. All right, because somebody can say, oh, we got a different translation. That's a English. That's a bring all the books together. And when you bring them together, they're all saying the same thing. There's nowhere to escape to right now, family. All right. So we got two books right there, and we're using the two, and we got a third one, and then you got the internet at the same time. So Surah 5 and 20 is telling you that the Creator gave Israelites prophethood, and He gave them kings, and then He gave a favor unto them, like He's giving no other nation on the earth. No other nation. Family, listen, if you're Muslim out there, even if you're Hebrew or Christian, it's actually also very important for our Christian brethren to understand this concept. Because honestly speaking, it's in the book. It's in the book. We're not making this story up. We're not making this story up. So Allah is saying in this book right here, and Muslims, you've got to take this up with Allah. Don't get heated on me, all right? He's saying here, Moses, tell your people the favor that the Creator bestowed on you. Call it to remembrance when He produced prophets among you, and He made you kings, and gave you what He had not given to any other nation on the earth. He's not giving it to any other nation. Can you believe that? He didn't give prophethood to any other nation. There's nothing you can do with that. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? How are you going to get around to that? Now, Ishmael is a nation. And we're talking ancient Israel here. Ishmael is a nation. But it's non-prophethood. Alright? It's non-prophethood. None. Alright? 789, that family. Ishmael is a nation, but non-prophethood. No prophet ever came out of Ishmael. We've gone into the Bible, and we're using the Quran right now. You can't get around that. It's just too clear. He's not giving that to any other nation. No other nation. I know I'm repeating this like time and time and time and time. But you can't get around that, family. There's no other way. You know what? This is so hard. You would have been better off that the Quran hadn't been written. you would have been better off that the Quran was not written, because that way you can say anything right now. But unfortunately for you, what was supposed to be your ace in the pack is actually your Achilles heel. You understand? What was supposed to be your ace in the pack is now become your Achilles heel. So what are you going to do about that? Are you now going to you're going to tear this page out? This is one of the pages that Uthman didn't remember to burn. He didn't remember to burn this scripture, because this is now kicking against him. But he couldn't burn this scripture at that time, because if they did burn this one, they couldn't start Islam at all.